Okay, welcome back. We're now on to project number 18. For project number 18, what we're going to be dealing with is a lamp holder in box number 1. In box number 2, we have ourselves a three-way switch. Teamed up with the three-way switch is a four-way switch in box number 3. And then finally, another three-way switch in box number 4. All of which controlling that same lamp holder in box number 1. Just a couple of items just to point out here when it comes to this project. You are going to be dealing with a flagging of a neutral wire between boxes 4 and we'll call it box number 3. So either way, you're going to be utilizing all wire between these boxes, primarily taking advantage of having that neutral wire and making it into a hot wire. So practicing that method of flagging a neutral in order to make it hot, in order to have this have these appliances connect together. So relatively easy project to put together with those same methods. So let's go about how do we put this together. So in this case here, since we have a lamp holder in box number 1, I'm going to save that for last. I'm going to go ahead and see about relaying our power over to our first appliance between boxes 2 and 3, the three-way switch to the four-way switch. And again, with between those two switches, the three-way switch and the four-way switch, I will be utilizing a little jump wire. And again, this is just for simulation purposes, that these would be so close together and having a little jump wire. But all in all, between if you were to do this in real life by having the three-way switch hooked up to the four-way switch, that would be common. But in this case here, we're going to be having to do a short piece of hot wire between the three-way switch and the four-way switch. So in this case here, I'm going to be taking my 2 hot wires, the power in, and the power that's going to run over the box number 2. I'm going to hook these 2 hot wires up in order to relay that hot energy over to box number 2. So I'm starting off with the black wire here, trying to keep the color coding consistent between the power in and the appliances, or my first appliance. I'll run that power over to my first common, which is going to be our first three-way switch. Again, the common terminals are black terminals. The gold terminals between your three-way switch as well as your four-way switch. The gold terminals are going to be your travelers. Travelers hook up to other travelers, and that's where these jump wires come into play. So I'll go ahead and hook up my first traveler to my three-way switch. And then from there, I'll hook up my three-way switch over to the four-way switch. Again, I'm hooking up these travelers since this is power going into the four-way switch. The wires would hook up to the commons. You will see on these four-way switches, it's labeled input. This is power that's going into the four-way switch. So they will wire in and connect to the commons. So from the 4-way switch, I'll go ahead and I'll connect my hot wires that run between boxes 3 and 4. My red wire, my black wire on my 12-3 cable. I'll connect them to the travelers on the 4-way switch. Okay, so I have my red and my black wire running from box number 3. They'll run over to box number 4 and hook up to the second 3-way switch. These would hook up to the travelers on this 3-way switch. Again, travelers connect with other travelers. In this case, it is the travelers on the 4-way switch that connect with the travelers on the second 3-way switch. Now, in this last box here, you'll notice that I have all wire, with exemption of the ground here. All wire is being used. All that's left is just this neutral. Again, you're going to utilize the flag. This neutral is going to then become a hot wire. I will use this as the hot wire on the common on this 3-way switch. From there, I'll take this now hot neutral. Again, you need to make sure and have common practice of if you have a neutral that's flagged as a hot, you gotta stay consistent between all the boxes if you're using that flag neutral. So that's why I have this other neutral here between boxes 2 and 3, where this neutral is gonna hook up that's flagged to a red wire. Make sure, have that common practice, be consistent, so that way in the future, you're not going to get yourself crossed up. You're not going to cross up anybody else by coming in contact with that neutral and risk that safety hazard of not having that neutral flagged, since it is now being used as a hot wire. So I'll tie these two together, and this will be the wire or the power that is going to be supplied to our lamp holder. So I'll take that red wire that's hooked up to our flag neutral. I will then connect to our lamp holder. Now, the neutral that's connected between boxes 1 and 2, that neutral is will not be used. However, I am going to take the neutral, which is my power in, that will be connected to my lamp holder. From there, I'll go ahead and I'll connect my grounds. Okay. There are my grounds between my 4-way switch, my 3-way switch, and the last ground to my last 3-way switch. And there we have it. Power that's being relayed over to box number 2. And then power exchange between the 3-way switch to the 4-way switch. Power then running over to our 3-way switch would then control our lamp holder in box number 1. And that concludes project number 18.